It had dawned on me that I haven't shown you any updates on how my thumb is doing. So, let's see if I can. You see that? Wait. Oh, it's not gonna. Anyway, you can see that it's it's grown out the cut, and there's just like a tiny bit right there that still needs to grow out. But other than that, it doesn't hurt anymore. Um, it's not fully healed yet, but it's turning out a-okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm still loving where I live, and it's been crazy lately though because as you all probably have heard in the media that there's a serial shooter shooting on our freeways here, mainly on the I-10 between 59th Avenue and 7th Avenue. But somebody posted an image about all the places that this shooter or shooters has been shooting, and they've been on the 17, on the 51, on the 202, down in Mesa, another section of the 10 in the East Valley, but it's mostly been in Phoenix and the West Valley, and it's scary, driving around and not or wondering if somebody's going to shoot your car. Luckily, no one's been hit, just their cars, but I have a lot of friends that drive to work on that route, and they're just tense, just, like wondering what's going to happen, and, praying that something bad doesn't happen or hoping something bad doesn't happen. So anyway, today they took somebody into custody, and that person, I don't know if he's the shooter or not, but everybody's like, should we breathe a sigh of relief? Nobody knows yet. As of like this afternoon, no one knows. I don't know. It's like 6:10 right now, so maybe there's something new in the news saying, yeah, this is the guy. But there could be copycat shooters. Any one of those shootings could have been copycat shooters. Also, two people at my work, they have some sort of projectile hit them on the 10 at 4 o'clock in the morning last week. I took pictures of it, which I will post in this video, but it is surreal that this happened to them. And they say like they don't know what it was. They both look bizarre because one of the windshields has the mark in it. It didn't go through, and they're saying that some of these projectiles might not be bullets, might be a pellet gun, though, might be a BB gun, might be something else. Everybody's saying it's an AR-15, but so this mark on the windshield has kind of like this spiral pattern to it. It's very bizarre. And then the other one on the other window is like under the windshield, and that part of the car that the windshield is butted up against, it hit that. So if it was a bullet, it couldn't go through. Um, because windshield glass is more reinforced than like the glass on your doors. Anyway, it just looks like a bullet hole. It looks like it punctured that window like it was a bullet, not a rock. I mean, you see rock holes or rocks make cracks in windshields. Usually you see like spider cracks start coming out, but these weren't like that at all. It was like completely boom and then shattering coming out of there. Oh, it's so freaky. So anyway, hopefully they caught the guy, and hopefully there isn't more of them. But this is the second time we've had to deal with this in a decade. We had to deal with the serial shooters back in 2006, 2007, and the baseline killer. And it just puts our whole city on edge. Just, we should live in a safe society. So, anyway, but people talk about gun control and stuff, and I can't help but think, like, I'm glad that we have guns here because we can fight the bad guys. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that a whole lot. But um, it's September 11th, and that's another thing that just made me so full of anxiety. You know, it's been 14 years, and I swear everyone in our country has PTSD because of it. You know, I mean, I was freaked out when it happened. I had to get out of Phoenix. I drove to the Petrified Forest because I'd never been there. And I just got out of town, and I had to think of other things because, like, it was just so scary. I can't imagine how people in Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C., and New York City were feeling. You know, they had friends and loved ones die, and their cities and states and districts were just completely changed by this terrorist act. And I can't believe it's been 14 years. Like, it just seems like it was yesterday. So my heart goes out to all those people that lost family members and friends in the 9/11 attacks. Hopefully something like this will never happen again. But it truly brought us together as a community. But it also created a lot more hate. And that's something we don't need in this world. We need a lot more love. But I didn't want to talk a whole lot about that, um, just because it's a hard thing to talk about. I think for everybody, it's a hard thing to talk about. You know, like somebody was posting a tweet today about um, a man here in the valley. He worked at a convenience store right around the corner from my house, and he was from the religion called Sikh, and he got killed. He was the first casualty, hate crime casualty after the 9/11 attacks. And just people here, this stupid hick killed this man because he thought he was Muslim and he thought that all Muslims were evil. And, you know, that was a hard time back then. You know, everybody was on edge, and, you know, there was a lot of hatred going on back then. You know, obviously a lot of us understood that not every Muslim is against us, and you know, we have Muslim friends, and I don't know, just some people went off the deep end, and I uh, I never really had any hatred for any individual people, but except for the terrorists, I had extreme hatred for them. I thought that it was horrible what they decided to do, you know, kill Western society, kill Americans, what they still, you know, do. But I never had any individual hate towards any specific person. And, you know, I kind of felt like it was my duty to educate people about the differences between, you know, people that want to kill you and people that are peaceful. So I tried my best to um, keep my hatred at bay, I guess, and focus on the good that was in the world. And it was really hard. But so I had no animosity towards Muslims as a whole until ISIS came around, and I there's I reached a breaking point when they were killing children, and I said I said one bad thing about Muslims, and a generalized statement, and since then I've changed my views. I I can't blame a whole religion for everything bad that's happened in this world. I mean, I guess I can, because a lot of religions have done really shitty things, but I don't think I should generalize, you know, people as a whole. No, I don't like to generalize anyway. I don't like when people generalize men and generalize women, generalize black people and white people and Hispanics, Asians. I don't. I've never really liked that. So anyway, I just want to say that um, we should never forget this, though. We should never forget that this happened. And I noticed on my calendar we're calling it Patriot Day now today. I feel really uncomfortable saying Happy Patriot Day, but it's also a National Day of Remembrance, a National Day of Service and Remembrance, I think they said on the calendar. We were talking about that at work and how, like, we've never heard that before. Like, when was this decided? Um, I just thought it was, in memory of the terrorist attacks, but now it's got a name. So, anyway, gosh, man, like, I'm really bummed out. I don't really know where this vlog was going now. I showed you my thumb, talked about the serial shooter, or shooters. Now I talked about 9/11, and I need to go get a drink. So I'll talk to you all later. Never forget.